It is a busy time for this segment, as we've just had the launch of the all-new Ford Mondeo, the updated Mazda 6, both of which are key competitors to the car we are in today. This is the 2015 Peugeot 508, and it features a facelift from the previous model to keep up to date and sort of hot on the heels of its competitors. Now, this facelift includes multiple body enhancements to the exterior, the new Peugeot family face, meaning it's got this sort of posh chrome grille to it now, and it also has larger lights. There's some bumper styling changes. On the inside, one of the big changes with the facelift model is that it ditches Peugeot's old infotainment system in favour for this new touchscreen variation. Now, it can still be controlled by the buttons down here, but that is the same touchscreen unit you find in 208, 308 now. The Peugeot 508 as a whole is actually a car we like quite a lot. This is the Allure model. It costs this specific car with its toys about £26,000, and it's powered by a 2-litre turbocharged diesel engine. That engine produces 150 brake horsepower and a really hefty 370 Newton meters of torque, which means when you need to get a shift on, it does so, which is really nice. That torque is produced very low in the rev range, and it's fantastic on a motorway, and that's exactly where this car is going to live. Most of its time will be spent on the M27 heading from point A to point B, and the last thing you want is to be sat in something a bit asthmatic. This engine is really good for whenever you want to get a bit of a shift on, make that overtaking manoeuvre. It's a really strong engine. Another trait that it has is that it actually only produces 109 grams per kilometre of CO2, which is fantastic for company car owners and businesses alike. This Allure model has leather seats. These are heated as well. We've got some quite nice alloy wheels on the car, which are also, they match up quite nice with the posher, let's say, exterior changes to this year's model. There's actually plenty of space in the back as well for passengers. Legroom is great, headroom again very good, and even the middle seat, there's a nice relatively flat transmission tunnel in the back, meaning that the middle passenger doesn't have to straddle that sort of obtuse tunnel on long journeys, so it means it's actually a usable seat. Now, there is one real gripe I have with this Peugeot, and it does let it down a bit, and that is that the steering is really inconsistent with its weighting. Just going around that corner, it was very, very light. On motorways and things, it does weight up, but I mean, the difference is very big between when it does this, and it's fairly inconsistent. It's very hard to predict when the car's going to weight up and when it's not, which is a bit disappointing, because actually the chassis is fairly competent in this car. It rides really well, it handles its lateral motion very well. You see, it doesn't lean so much through the corners, so that is a bit of a shame. 80% of people who own this car won't care. They won't care for this car's handling characteristics, because like I say, it will spend its time on the motorway. In that respect, Mondeo and Mazda 6 certainly have the 508 licked, I'm afraid. But for a car to sit on the motorway, the 508 is fantastic. Oh my goodness, you set the cruise control, it's quiet, it's comfortable. It really is one of the best in class for just getting on with those long motorway miles. And like I say, predominantly its customer base, that's exactly what they're looking for. There is a massive boot at the back, which is really good for carrying stuff, but you do have to, I've played this game with a few people, find the boot release. The boot release is actually hidden in the zero of 508, which is quite a nice aesthetic piece, because there's no ugly switch or anything. But if you're new to the car, you'd never guess that that's where the boot release was. There is one slight ergonomic flaw with this brand new system that Peugeot have put in. Like I say, it's from 208, 308, where the dashboards are very different to what we've got here. This being a facelift model, that system has been retrofitted to the dashboard. Like I say, it's touchscreen, so I need to touch it. From my natural driving position, it's quite a stretch. It's quite hard to actually reach. You've got to sort of have orangutan arms to reach it. I just think that's the downside of this facelift model, is that some features have had to be sort of tacked on or modified to fit the car because the interior was never actually designed to accept a touchscreen in the first place. All in all, I really like the 508. It's very good. It's competitively priced in terms of Mondeo. I think the Mazda 6 does undercut it slightly, but you know, the 508 is a very competent car, and a car that definitely should be considered, particularly if you're a business user, something that should make the shortlist and be considered amongst its rivals.